Hello aliens, this is Navin Reddy from Telusko Learnings, and in this video we'll talk about Tomcat. So we'll see how to download Tomcat, how to configure it, how to start a Tomcat so that you can deploy your web applications, specifically Java web applications on your server. So for that, first understand what is Tomcat. So basically Tomcat is a web container, or you can say a servlet container where you can run your servlets. Because whenever we talk about Java web applications, so when you say a website, so it can be of two types, right? You can make a static website or you can make a dynamic website. So in case if you are making a static website, you have all HTML files, right? And to work with HTML, you just require a browser. But to work with dynamic pages where you will generate the data as per the user request, so in that scenario, we require some server-side programming. So for Java, we use something called servlets. So we have a server technology, we have JSP technology, and both these things works on Tomcat. So if I go to Tomcat, so Tomcat is a web container developed by Apache. So specifically it is a servlet container. So the latest version of Tomcat is 9. The stable version is 8. And we are going to work with 8 now. So the first step will be have to download the Tomcat, right? To do that, just click on Tomcat 8.0. Okay, then it will give you some choice. So we have different setup for different versions. Since I'm using a Macintosh version, I'll be preferring to work with the tar file. Okay, so we have zip, we have tar. Okay, let's go for zip here. So if I click on zip, it will download the zip file. It will take some time to download. So what I will do, I will just pause the video. I will wait for it to download. And once it is downloaded, then I will unzip it and then we'll show you how to continue with the steps. So let me just pause the video here. Now the download is done and we got the unzipped version of my Apache Tomcat. So in this you can see we have lots of folders, right? We have bin, we have conf, which is configuration, then we have lib for libraries. So if you open this lib folder, we have all the libraries which are used by your Tomcat, right? Example, if you want to work with servlet files, so we have servlet API here. And then if you want to work with internationalization, we have I18N. So we have all the available libraries here. And so we have there are two important folders to work with. The first one is this web app. So let's say if you are build a website, of course when you say you are building a website, what we do, we build web pages, right? And we combine all those web pages, we put those web pages in one folder and we call it as website, right? So what we do, we put all these files in one folder. So that folder will be here, so that you can access this folder through internet connection, right? So this is a folder. This is the place where you will put your folder, your project. Now we have the next important folder is bin. Now bin is the binary folder, as you know. So we will be having all the important files here. So you can start your Tomcat using bin, you can stop your Tomcat using bin. So this is the file we'll be using. So we have startup.bat, which is, and startup.sh. So let's say if you're a Windows user, so you'll be using startup.bat because batch file works on Windows. And if you're a Linux user, so if you're a Linux user, Unix user or Macintosh user, we will be using startup.sh. And of course for shutdown, for Windows we use shutdown.bat, and for Linux we use shutdown.sh. Now let's say even if you start it, how it will work. So let's go to your Chrome once again. So let me go back to Chrome. It's here. Let me just use my usual window. So I will go back to this folder. So this is the place where I've downloaded, right? So I will type, it is how to access your Tomcat. So just type localhost :8080. So if you write 8080, so you can see that this site cannot be reached because it is not available since your Tomcat is not started. So in order to start the Tomcat, we have to go to this folder, and inside this folder bin we have to say startup.sh if you are working on Linux or Macintosh. If you are working on Windows, we just have to say startup. How to do that? Just open a terminal, go back to downloads. So we'll say cd downloads. Okay, so I'm inside downloads now, and what I will do, I will just increase the font size. Is it possible to increase the font size? It's not working. Okay, I think we can. So preference. Okay, so we have a font size here. Let me make it what, 14. I think that should be visible. Yeah, so it's visible, right? So we have increased the font size, and now we have to go inside Tomcat. So we'll say Apache Tomcat. So I have two versions. This is 32, right? 32, and inside this we have to go to bin folder. Now once we are inside the bin folder, let me just clear the screen, and I have to start the Tomcat, right? To start the Tomcat, you just have to say sh space startup.sh. If you are a Windows user, just type startup, it will work. But since in Macintosh you have to use sh and say enter. Oh, so we require a permission here. Cannot find Catalina, which is this. So let's give the permission to this file. Okay, so sometimes we get the option error for permissions. I don't know how to solve this problem. I've never got this problem earlier. So how to do that? Let me just pause the video. Let me just give the permission to it, and we'll come back to that. The problem, I have provided the permission. Now how to provide the permission? So you just have to say chmod 777 catalina.sh. That the permission was missing there, so I have mentioned the permission. This problem will not arise if you are using Windows, and if you are using Linux, then you have to provide the permission using chmod. So let's go back to. Okay, so again we have to say sh space startup.sh, and if I say enter, it says Tomcat started, right? And let's go back to your web page and say enter. Okay, so this is how you start Apache Tomcat, right? So we are using version 8.0.32, so that's how you start the Apache Tomcat. Now to shut it down, so just simply say sh space shutdown.sh. So it has shut down your Tomcat. If I refresh this page again, you can see it's not reachable. If I again start up, and if I say enter, we got this file here, right? So that's how you download the Tomcat and you start it, right? Now once the installation is done, you can create a project inside your folder, which is what web app, and you can put a folder here, and you can access the folder with the help of this page. Sounds good. Things to remember something. We can also look at one more folder here, which is your conf. So inside this conf, you have some files. One of the file is server.xml. So if you want to change the configuration of your server, let's say you want to change the port number. So the port number I'm working with is 8080, right? So let's say if 8080 is busy with some other server. So let's say you already have a WAMP server, which is a server for PHP. So let's say you already have a WAMP server inside your system. So by default, even WAMP server will use 8080 port number. In that scenario, we have to change the port number for Tomcat. So we have to just open with any software. We'll say this is Text Wrangler. Oh, I think I don't have the Apple account synced. So let me open this with with Xcode. I have Xcode here. So it will take some time to load Xcode. It's a bulky software. Okay, so in this you can change the port number for Tomcat. So we can go to this and say I don't want to use 8080, I just want to use 8082 because 8080 is already booked with a WAMP server. So again, shut down this server, restart this server, and this time if I try to access the web page with 8080, you can see we got the error because we have changed the port number. And if you mention 8082, enter, we got a Tomcat, right? So that's how you change the port number using a file which is server.xml. So that's how you download, you install, or you start and you configure your server. So that's it from this video, and if you have any doubts and comments, so just comment in the comment section. And yeah, thanks so much for watching.